הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יד.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Good Shabbos. So nice to see our members, our friends, and those of you who are with us for the first time. Welcome. Gordon is away in Colorado, I think. He's got a gig. And Shane has graciously agreed to lead services with me again. And I think this is the second time in about a month, something like that. So we're really grateful and really happy that you're with us. Thank you for adding your voice to tonight. I hope everyone has stayed cool. This has been a busy week in Napa, a busy week around the world. There's a lot to celebrate tonight. Shabbat is always a time to celebrate at the end of the week. But we are marking a few things tonight. One is Judy Nystrom's birthday. It's a big birthday, 35. And we're going to have our board installation, our new board, a little bit later tonight. And then we have a wonderful guest speaker, Tema Edelman, who's going to be talking about her work in Ukraine. I'll be introducing Tema a little bit later, for those of you who don't know her. But first, I'm going to invite Judy to come up to the bima to honor us by lighting our Shabbat candles in honor of this milestone birthday of yours. And I should add, Judy has sponsored the oneg for tonight, so we all have a delicious oneg waiting for us when services are over.
Can I say the prayer? You say the prayer and then I'll do it afterwards.
Ooh, lucky. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'adlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We are going to continue our service on page 142 with the singing of Shalom Alechem. I was just teaching one of our conversion students, a member of CBS, about this prayer yesterday, and I think some of you know it's only 400 years old, which is not very old in the Jewish tradition. And it is a prayer about peace. And I think we all know peace is something we desperately need, not only in this country, but around the world. Shalom Alechem, page 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hashalom, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bo Hashem Hashalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Huni L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Halachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzidken L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Halachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
The Chatzi Kaddish is on page 144. Please join me. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah be'alma divrach erotei v'yemlich malchutei b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael bagala bagala uvizman kariv v'meru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'alam u'al me'al maya yitbarach yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseb v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudsha barichu leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'miru amen. Our call to worship, the Baruch Hu, is on page 146. If you're able, please rise.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La la la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Ba'alu Le'olam Ba'el HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Ba'el HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Ba'el.
Please join me at the top of page 149 in English. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Page 151. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod Malechuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavacha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvelektecha v'derech uv'shokbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beinenecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem meretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem. Micha Mocha is on page 158.
Micha Mocha be'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha nedebo kodesh. Micha Mocha be'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha nedebo kodesh. Nora te'ilo ose bele, Nora te'ilo ose bele, Adonai le'olam le'olam va'ed. Micha Mocha be'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha nedebo kodesh. Micha Mocha be'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha nedebo kodesh.
Page 161. Please join me at the top of the page. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. V'amireinu shamreinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlamecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlamecha. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu v'shalom, v'shalom. V'amidenu shamreinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukot shlamecha, ufros aleinu sukot shlamecha. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with the morning light. Teach us, God, wrong from right.
Please take a moment now for your own silent thoughts and prayers.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tsi Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tsi Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lekol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon lekol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tsi Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tsi Leolam. V'tov benecha laperet et amcha Yisrael v'chol et uleosha'a bishlomeha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tsi Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tsi Leolam. Tsi Leolam. Tsi Leolam.
At this point in our service, we pause to think of those in need of healing on this Shabbat, healing of body, healing of spirit, and healing of heart. And we ask God to bestow the bracha, the blessing of refuah shlema, full and complete healing on the following men and women from our community or those known and loved by our congregation: Ilana Massey, Kevin Brackett, Michelle Camissia, Jesse Friedman, Brenda Flood, Sharon Blevis, Kirk Whitlatch, David Rabb, Kathy Rotto, Aaron Ledden, Rachel Sodick, Michaela Cohen, Diane Rotto Persile, Tracy Adams, Joan Wilmert, Kim Stevens, James Lynch, Don Copeland, Rachel Hartstein, Sally Gordon, Nancy Pollock, Donna Batdorf, Pat Shapiro, Brad Honorado, Audrey Lieberstein, Denise Robinson, Michael Blend, Alan Reed, and Carla Del Porto. And if anyone has a name that they'd like to add to our list, I invite you to please do so. The Misha Barak prayer is on page 511.
Misha Barak Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Limotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberak imotenu mecho habraha laotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Shabbat Shalom again, and good Shabbos, and special welcome to those I haven't seen for a while, or those who are visiting tonight because of our guest speaker, or just because you want to be here. Our doors are always open. So before I call up our guest speaker, I just wanted to quickly point out something about this Shabbat's Torah portion. We'll be looking at it more closely tomorrow morning at 10:30 for Torah study. It's called Hukat. And in this Torah portion, which is very monumental in some ways, three very important leaders of the people of Israel either die or learn some bad news. Miriam, that great prophet who leads the Jewish people after they cross the Sea of Reeds in song and in dance with other Israelite women, she dies at the beginning of this Torah portion. Not soon ever going to be able to enter the promised land after devoting his entire life to the Jewish people and to following God's will and God's orders. So it's a very powerful Torah portion with a lot of things that happen in it, but the loss of Miriam and of Aaron and learning that Moses will never be able to lead the Jewish people into the promised land, those are big deals. And we learn just how important leadership is in the life of the Jewish people. But Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, the siblings, they're not just leaders, they're also servants. They serve the people of Israel. They serve their community. And they are activists in the most important sense of the word. All of them practice activism in different ways for their people. Now, our speaker tonight, Tama Edelman, and I'm not trying to compare you to Moses, Aaron, or Miriam, but I am a little bit, is a quintessential activist. She's a retired registered nurse. She's been an activist in politics for many years, and she has done incredible work with Hands On Global, and I'm guessing with other organizations over the years, not only in Ukraine, but all over the world. And I've only learned bits and pieces of it in the few years that we've gotten to know each other a little bit. Tama is going to be talking to us tonight about her recent work in Ukraine, a country that is still in great distress, that maybe we as a Jewish community have put on the back burner a little bit as we think about the crisis in Israel and Gaza, but it's still very much at the forefront of our country's foreign policy, and it's a cause for concern, I think, for probably all of us in this room. So I'd like to invite up member of our community, friend of our community, and guest speaker tonight, Tama Edelman.
Okay.
Just speak right into this.
Thank you for inviting me here today. I came. My heart is with Ukraine, so I might be a little bumpy. I came here to inspire you by telling you a story, sharing a heartfelt human interest story. War is messy, painful, and damaging. But this story of the babushkas is inspiring and heartfelt and showing that we have more in common than our differences. So I want you to join me on a brief journey and meet the babushkas. First, I want to tell you about who we are. Hands On Global is a small medical nonprofit. Our medical teams have doctors, nurses, physical therapists, admins, and as volunteers, we pay all of our own expenses: airfare, hotels, food, and whatever transportation. We assist in distressed areas throughout the world: U.S.-Mexico border, refugee camps in Greece, Ukraine, time in Turkey after the earthquake, and of course in Kashmir with His Holiness. My last trip was in March 2024. This is what we took: 16 suitcases. Our baggage fees from San Francisco to Krakow, Poland, which is how we get into Ukraine, alone were $3,500. That did not get our baggage to the end point in the different parts of Ukraine. That was just Lufthansa charging us what they could. For those of you who aren't familiar with Ukraine, the place we were in Zhytomyr was about 80 miles from the capital of Kyiv. So we go in through Krakow, Poland, and we drive over the border into Lviv and then on up into Zhytomyr. And this is where we met the babushkas, who I feel so honored to tell their story. So during our recent trip, we were introduced to the members of the Babushka Battalion, also known as the Granny Battalion in Zhytomyr, Ukraine. It's a Yiddish word, Russian, Ukrainian, and all of us know, most of us who are raised with Yiddish in our homes, a babushka is also the headscarf. As retired older women, they didn't know what to do to help their boys on the front line. But they knew one thing they could do. They could sew, they could knit. And 10 years later, because the war started 10 years ago, the invasion 2.5 years ago, they are still sewing for their boys on the front line. The leader of the group, Taisa, is a retired cook who saw a need. And currently, 2 of the babushka's sons are serving on the front line. And Taisa's son is serving on the front line, so she's now guardian of his daughter because the mother had previously died. Currently, there are 17 women who have stayed for 10 years. Many of them have died or are too sick to continue, and they continue to sew and knit. This is their room. It's a narrow little room. They get it rent-free. And hung on the walls are flags and signed posters, certificates, all from soldiers, and certificates of recognition from the troops, thanking them for providing them with the clothes that they need on the front line. For the soldiers, they sew camouflage t-shirts, which we brought one back, underwear in bright colored fabric to bring smiles. They make gloves for digging the trenches out of old Levi's. And of course, the soldiers need pillows, so they'll make pillows to go with some of the underwear. And the balaclava to keep the soldiers' heads warm. They knit the socks that cover the wounds for soldiers whose feet have trouble and they can't wear regular socks. They also knit socks to keep the soldiers' feet warm. And most importantly, they make Velcro clothes for the amputees, for arms and legs, so they too can stay warm. Besides sewing for the soldiers, millions and millions of Ukrainians moved from the east of the country to the west during this current invasion. And they're called internally displaced people, IDPs. And they just ran and left everything behind. And we visited one of the IDP centers, and these women also make things for them, for the internally displaced people. They make sheets, they make pillowcases, they help gather food and clothes, they distribute everything they can find to help these people who have basically been left homeless. Everything they provide is free of charge. They don't pay rent, and they collect their sewing supplies from going out and shaking the tin can. But after 10 years of war, the donations are thin. Tassa, who leads the group, who I spoke about, says it takes about $800 a month, US a month, for fabric and all the things they need to provide the supplies for the soldiers. We were so touched by this group. I mean, how often in your life do you really meet people who are such heartfelt people who are giving everything for their country? We called every person we knew. We reached out to Singer Sewing Machine. We reached out to Bernina because we had pictures of their sewing machines in these two small rooms. And we said, you have to help. So Bernina in Switzerland donated 2 20-year-old machines, which we'll pick up in Zurich and deliver to the babushkas in November. It was a privilege to meet these women, like us, women who are older, retired, and not wanting to sit on the sidelines. We felt a deep kinship for them. This group of committed women, high-spirited babushkas, taking action and doing what they can for their country. I wish I could take all of you there to meet them. It was just like one of those most amazing periods. But now I'm going to segue into this war that continues in Ukraine. Our current campaign is called Stop the Bleed. Tourniquets for Ukraine, saving limbs and lives. Per the prosthetic company here in the US, Protez, which also is Ukrainian, between 60,000 and 100,000 amputees. I mean, that's just sort of like mind-boggling. What it has done, though, is improved the whole world of prosthetics and what people can now do. The combat application tourniquet is what is saving a lot of the limbs and lives. We purchase them. We used to purchase in the US, but they're too expensive and it costs too much for us to take them there. And it took too long to get them to the front line. We now have approval from the Ukrainian military to purchase from SICK, which is a Ukrainian company. They cost $15 US each versus if we buy them in the US with a humanitarian discount, it's $24. We no longer have to pay transportation to Lufthansa. We get rapid delivery to the front lines, and the money is spent in Ukraine, which is most important now. So what happens in the medical journey? One of three things happen in a medical journey. There's surgery, of which it could be any kind of surgery, which the first picture shows. Second, in this was triple amputee, which as a nurse who was in Vietnam, this young man would never have survived. Triple amputees, now we're seeing quadruple amputees. So the war has taken on a whole new flavor. And then, of course, the last is the cemetery. On July 20th, we decided to host an event, 4 to 7, at our home here in Napa. I hope you might be able to join us. It's a fundraiser for Stop the Bleed, Tourniquets for Ukraine. It felt like such a small thing. For $15, 3 Pete's cappuccinos, we had the possibility to save a lemon life. The babushkas were sending things to them to show them we stand in solidarity with them, with these women trying to do what they can. One of the things, a church in Kauai sent these little squares, and they're called prayer squares. And if you get a chance, tie a knot, say a prayer, and these are going to Ukraine. We have them out front. A prayer from the heart is what we're asking for Ukraine. Thank you for support of this community. The last couple of years, you've been amazing. I'm very grateful to the rabbi and, of course, to Congregation Beth Shalom. Thank you.
Thank you, Tam. I know that I speak for probably everyone here in saying that you're an inspiration. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your activism. And thank you for being an exemplar of the very important Jewish value of tikkun olam, working passionately and diligently to make this world a better place in whatever way that you can. You're always welcome here. Thank you. We're going to continue on page 586 with the Aleinu. And Shane, how would you feel if I invited your daughters up here? How would your daughters feel if I invited them up here?
That's another question.
Theodora and Josephine, why don't you come up? Everyone else, please rise. Aleinu l'shabbat. Please be seated. So I mentioned at the outset of services that we were not only celebrating Shabbat, we had not only invited Tama as our guest speaker this evening, but we want to install our new board. We have a new board this year as of June 1st, including 5 new members who are on for the first time. But anyone who is a member of our current board, I'd like to invite you to come up to the bima. Actually, let's do it in front. Why don't you stand right here? We have good representation tonight. I think most everyone is here. So I was talking about service. I was talking about activism. I was talking about leadership. And these are your lay leaders. These are the activists from our. Roberta, you're on the board? Yeah, but you're still on the board? Come on up. Past president. You more than anyone have earned your place on the board. So these are your lay leaders. This is the leadership of our congregation who is working in concert with me and with Mara and with Gordon to steer our congregation into the future. And already I know you have done great work. There's a lot more to do. I mentioned at our annual meeting a few weeks ago that a synagogue in many ways is 3 things. It's a Beit Tfilah, it's a house of prayer, it's a Beit Knesset, it's a house of gathering, and it is a Beit Midrash, a house of study. And a synagogue is really supposed to be all those things in a very holistic way. It is supposed to engage with our community, body, mind, and soul. And so I very much look forward to working with all of you over the next couple of years. And I know, because I can tell already, that this board is going to do wonderful, wonderful things, as have our past boards. And I want to offer you a blessing as we begin this journey together. I think you're probably familiar with it. It's one of the oldest blessings in the Jewish tradition. It is from the Torah, and I think it represents the heartfelt wishes that I have for all of you and all of us as we venture forth into the brave new world ahead as a Jewish congregation here in Napa. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May God's presence shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisad Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's presence be with you and grant you peace. And let all of us say, Amen. Thank you. Oh, sure. Let me introduce everyone. Thank you. I should have done that in the beginning. We have Allison. We have Laura. We have Naomi. We have Guy, Cynthia, Susie, Scott, Eve, and Roberta. So thank you all, and please take your seats. Thank you, Kathleen. Actually, everyone should take their seats except Eve, because we have some announcements tonight.
So we have actually a pretty short list today. We have a Torah study tomorrow at 10:30. That's at the top of the list. CBS members only pool days have started. Our next pool day will be Sunday, July 14th from 10 to 2. Register online to save your spot. It's a BYO event, so pack your snacks, set up camp for the pool for the day. We ask that you clean up after yourselves and obey the lifeguard. No alcohol beverages or glass in the pool area. Waterproof swim diapers must be worn by those who need them. Important thing to know. The Soul Sisters will be meeting on Tuesday, July 16th at 11 a.m. in the home of Robin Stern. They will be discussing book recommendations for the upcoming year, so please contact Robin to RSVP. Your Right to Resilience will meet on Thursday, July 18th at 3:30. There are still auction prizes available from the Spring Fling. Please see the temple website or contact Maxine Maluso for more information. There is information on the synagogue website about Jewish food and wine retreat. Sounds pretty interesting. It's September 13th to 15th at Camp Newman in conjunction with Congregation Beth Shalom. We'd like to give warm wishes to this week's birthdays and anniversaries. Happy birthday to Lorraine Fingerson, Mara Parachensky, she's sitting back there, Stephen Brower, Tallulah Finkelstein, Iona Matiscu, Karen Weiss, Mark Epstein, Rachel Bronk, Joshua Slater, Larry Posner, Judy Nystrom is hiding somewhere, Catherine Winter, Sherry Cohos, Carly Harvey. And happy anniversary, 48 years to Michael and Lauren Shevlin, 30 years for Gary Lieberman and Judy Dumond, Melvin Cohn and Lorraine Fingerson, only 24. But that's a pretty good list. And before, I just want to add a mazel tov, because Susie and Don Krieger now have a wonderful little grandson called Prince. So please give him a hug and kiss and send him on the way. Thank you.
Before we continue with the Mourner's Kaddish, I'd like to ask you to turn to page 552. We've talked about Ukraine, and I mentioned the war in Israel and Gaza, and I'd like to offer a prayer for the country and the people of Israel. Avinu Shebashamayim, O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. And let us say, Amen. As we reach the end of our service, our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We remember those who have died during the past 12 months. Faye Goldstein-Glick, Diana Coyne, Peggy Dooley, Eddie Feld, Frankie Block, Joyce Bisberg, Jake Goldstein, David Mendelson, Nancy Jeanette, Alexander Buddy Cohen, Berna Joseph Sherman, Rabbi Lori Phillips, Pearl Shine, Jerry Mautner, Lauren Bisberg, Terry Swartz, Chava Pearl Bat Herschel Varose Gittel, Victor Lynn, Rosella Bernstein, Morris Feynman, Frank Glickman, Dee Copeland, Dr. Rodney Block, Eileen Gotkin, Eugene DePasqua, and Barbara Balick. We also remember and honor the yahrzeits, the anniversaries of the deaths of Jose Samuelson, Paula Foreman Schiffman, Estelle Nyman, Jacob B. Nyman, Rosanna Wright, Harry Kahn, Hadassah Kramer, William Chiat, Victor Silver, Judith Stern, Charlotte Catton, Nina Storm, Abraham Goodwin, Jane Goldstrom, and Robert Feynman. And if anyone has a name they'd like to add to our list, I invite you to please do so. The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 598. If you're able, please rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, be'alma divrach herete v'yamlik malkutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, b'agala uv'izman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevarak Le'alam Ulamei Maya. Yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal Shmei Dekudsha Barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechemata. Damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba min Shmaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace grant peace to all those in mourning and comfort to all those who are bereaved. And let us all say amen. Please be seated. I just want to thank Shane again for leading services tonight. We hope you will keep doing it.
Absolutely.
As often
Love
as
it.
you're available and as long as you're willing to help out.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for adding your time and talent to this service.
Thank you.
And we are going to continue now with the final song, and then we'll do the Kiddush and Motzi. And what are we going to conclude with tonight, Shane?
Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom. I think everyone knows that. Most people know.
Oseh Shalom b'imrava. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ba'al kol Yisrael. V'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imrava. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ba'al kol Yisrael. V'imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom. Ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu. V'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom. Ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu. V'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom. Ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu. V'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom. Ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu. V'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom. Ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu. V'al kol Yisrael. V'al kol yoshvei teva.
Little Spanish twist at the end. You're learning from Gordon. Or maybe he's learning from you. Please rise. In anticipation of the oneg waiting for us, thank you again, Judy. Please join me in the Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Now the Motzi. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'tei avon. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.